Hello everybody, it's your girl Jasmine the Goddess. Welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going to be about you can recreate anyone or anything, any circumstance, anything in your life. So before we get into the video, I do want to let you know that I offer one-on-one coaching. I also offer other spiritual services, so you want to go ahead and add me or write me for that. I will be more than glad to assist you. My emails are pretty lengthy. I give you a lot of information depending on what you ask for. Again, I do work on spiritual services and things like that, and I do offer emails. So let's start the video. So, contrary to belief, you can recreate anybody or any situation. Why? Because you are God. What does that mean? A lot of people don't like to hear this, but the sky daddy that's in the sky that they've told you about, I'm not saying it's not true, but that same sky daddy's power lives within you, if you believe in that, okay? So, with that being said, you can choose to experience, because you are God and you came here to experience as God, being a human. You can experience any version of anything that you'd like. For instance, let's use the example of money, okay? Let's say you have never had money all of your life. You've always struggled with money. People in your family have struggled with money. The people around you have struggled with money. And now you want to experience life as a millionaire. That is completely possible. Or a multimillionaire. That is completely possible because that power to create that is within you. Okay? So you don't ever have to worry about well, this has been in my bloodline for a while. Or I don't know anybody around me that's a millionaire, or I don't know anybody who would give me $1 million or anything like that. You do not have to worry about that. You just have to live and think as if you are that millionaire to bring that reality to you. Okay? Same thing with a specific person. I know some people are like, well, what if they have this issue? What if they have that issue? What if they're not sweet? What if they're not kind? What if blah, 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 blah. Fill in the blank. There's so many things that your SP could be doing right now, your specific person could be doing right now that you don't agree with. Okay? Can you recreate them? Yes. Your thoughts are creating the people in your life. Okay, I'm going to say this again. The people in your life are being created by the thoughts that you have had. Okay? Whether it be thoughts that you had years ago, your family had years ago, something that's in your bloodline, you have been having these thoughts, and that's the reason why you're seeing it come out in your reality, okay? So in order to change that, you would just simply decide that you are changing those thoughts. Once you start changing those thoughts, reality has no choice but to match up to what you say, okay? So how would you do that? What if your SP right now is not attentive with you, right? You're going to start saying things like they're attentive. They always show me attention. I get so much attention from my SP. Whatever affirmation that you can use to make that happen, you're going to keep saying that regardless of what you see. Okay? You're not going to camera that again. So again, it is literal old news, the 3D. Whatever you see in the 3D that is not in alignment with what you're trying to push out at this very moment is your old thoughts. A lot of people get mixed up. They're like, oh my God, I've been affirming for this long and I'm still seeing results. Why? I'm not seeing results. I'm still seeing the old story. Why are you paying attention to that? When the old story happens, you have to kind of act like you don't see it. Stop seeing what you don't want to see anymore. When something comes into my reality that I don't like, I ignore it. I literally act like it's not happening because it can't be happening to me because I don't identify with that story anymore. And you have to be like that. You have to be like, I don't need to identify with what's going on right here because that's not even who I am. So that can't be me. It's like, okay, let's say you order an Uber. I don't know where you are in your city and they come and they tell you, let's say your name is Mike. And they say, hey, Jan, is that you? You're not going to be like, oh, yeah, I'm Mike, and take Mike's ride. You don't do that. You ignore it. You say, oh, no, I'm Jan. You identify as Jan. You're going to Jan's address. Okay? You're not going to identify. I know it's a huge bad example because man and woman, who would do that? But still, you don't just take the ride and be like, oh yeah, well, I still needed a ride. I still needed a freaking ride to wherever I needed to go. So it doesn't matter if they drop me off way across town. I'm going to pretend to be freaking Mike right now, or pretend to get in Mike's ride just so I can go somewhere right now. You don't do that. Okay? So if something happens in your 3D that you don't agree with because you have a new story about yourself, you got to act like it's not happening, because you don't identify with that story anymore. You don't live there anymore. You do not live there anymore. So stop identifying with what you don't agree with. If you do not agree with something, do not just sit there and be like, oh, well, I'm just going to accept this for what it is. Stop accepting things that you don't like. Stop accepting them. You can recreate any situation in your life, anybody, anything, anyone, anything. Okay. You can be poor today and wake up rich tomorrow. Okay. You can go from not having a date for 25 years to meeting the love of your life the next day. You literally can do anything because you are God. Act like it by not accepting things that you don't want. When you think of God, okay, whatever you think of God, do you think God would be like, oh, well, this is happening on earth right now, and there's nothing I can do, even though I created this whole entire thing? No. God would never act like that. God would say, nope, I say what goes. So you need to start thinking the same exact way. I say what goes. I say what goes here. I'm not going to wait for the 3D to tell me what to do. I'm not going to conform to the 3D. I'm going to do what I want. And I'm going to see what I would like to see, regardless of what the 3D has shown me in the past or showing me right now. It literally could be happening in my face right now, and I would not care, because I already know what I put out there. And if I put it out there, then it's instant. I expect for my results to be instant. So if something happens that's definitely not in alignment with what I would manifest, or I'm manifesting at this very moment, I act like it's not happening, because it can't be happening to me. It must be somebody else's manifestation, because it's not mine. It's not mine. You gotta act like that. It's not mine. Okay? Be delusional. Stop accepting things that you don't like. Be kind of mean, a little with the 3D. That's how I am. When a 3D shows me something, if my SP in the past, when my SP wouldn't do things I didn't want him to do, I would pretend it's not happening. It's not happening. It can't be happening, because I live here now. This is who I am. I get what I want. That's who I identify as. So when things happen that are not in alignment with what I want, I don't accept them, because that's not who I am. I always get what I want. This is more of a pep talk. But yes, you can recreate anyone by using those affirmations and not backing down to what the 3D wants to show you, regardless of what you see. Some people are like, oh, well, I've been doing this, I've been doing that. Who cares what you did 2 seconds ago? Is it in alignment with what you want? No. So you're going to keep thinking and seeing yourself as that person, regardless of what you see. You literally can recreate anyone in any type of situation at any time of your life. You can decide right now, I do not like the way my SP has been doing this. If he's been doing it for 10, 15, 20 years, you've been with him for 30 years, and has been doing the same exact thing every single day in and day out, you can decide right now that they no longer do this. And when they show you examples of doing it again, you're going to correct your 3D. You're going to tell your 3D, no, actually, this is what's going on instead. That's it. That's it. That's all you got to do, guys. So this is the end of the video. I will see you in the next video. Bye.